Hey YouTube, I just wanted to do another Andromeda video, this time featuring the Triumvirate class heavy cruiser of the High Guard from the 4th season of Andromeda Ascendant, and it only appears twice, and it's pretty mysterious because there aren't very many details revealed about it, and we unfortunately don't actually get to see it in combat, so we don't know what its capabilities are, but I still wanted to do a video on it because I thought it was worth doing since there isn't any content available on YouTube for it, but there is a little bit on the Andromeda wiki page, so I wanted to do a little bit of what we do know, what we don't know, and also what I want to infer from this information. So, beginning onward about it, what we do know is the Triumvirate Heavy Cruiser is the name given to an otherwise unknown class of large High Guard starship used as command ships by the Triumvirate of the New Systems Commonwealth. Although specifications are not given, the ship appears to be similar in size to a Glorious Heritage class heavy cruiser. Although the capabilities are largely unknown, the Triumvirate Heavy Cruiser clearly presents some degree of threat to the Glorious Heritage class heavy cruiser, as evidenced by the crew of Andromeda's reaction to both vessels of the class when encountered. The ship is unwieldy enough that it cannot successfully navigate the Gordian maze. And the examples of the 2 times that it shows up are Trilorn's flagship, commanded by Trilorn, escorted Andromeda out of the Terrazed in Season 4, Episode 11, Torment and the Release, and Hailcon's Promise, Trigemma's flagship, destroyed in the Gordian Maze, Season 4, Episode 18, Trusting the Gordian Maze. And I know I probably butchered the pronunciation of that last episode's name, but it's alright, because I'm going to continue anyways. So, what else we do know about this ship, unfortunately, is very limited. So we know the role of this ship, heavy cruiser, Triumvirate flagship, the planet of origin is Terrazed, and we can infer based on the material and based on having a lot of access to this material that this is post the fall and post of the Commonwealth, the original one, and post the Long Night and the Nietzschean Revolt, because it's pretty obvious that it didn't exist prior to that, and if it's from Terrazed, it's pretty obvious that it's New Commonwealth as well, because at the time the Andromeda Ascendant was the best class out there, and then the Siege Perilous class was after that, and I'm going to do a video on that one as well. The length is 1,250 meters, which is actually the most significant thing that we have to go on, unfortunately, and that's going to show you a little bit more later. But the power plant, so I guess its core would be an anti-proton fusion reactor, and the faction, the Systems Commonwealth High Guard. So, starting out with this ship, I can infer a couple of different things from the size. It's actually just a little, the Andromeda is about 51 meters bigger than this ship, so they're almost the same size, even though 50 meters is pretty big, but they're about the same size. I can see a little bit of difference here because there's no blades, there's no blading that the Andromeda would have as missile defense and some other things, so it's a little bit different, but unlike to just go back to the Siege Perilous class ship, which doesn't have any fighters, all it did was replace all the fighters and the crew with gun platforms. It makes more sense for this ship to be potentially either a hybrid of those or just a more advanced form of the Andromeda in general. But it's very odd that the ship itself seemed to be unwieldy enough that it couldn't navigate the Gordian Maze, considering it isn't that much smaller than the it's a little bit smaller than the Andromeda, so I don't think that the size itself would have changed it unless these dimensions are off, or the ones that are on the Andromeda wiki, which is where I'm getting this stuff from, is also off, which is also a potential at this point. So the length of the Andromeda Ascendant, for comparison, is 1,301 meters, and the blueprints are much more in depth, and it gives us a lot more to go on. So this one is literally zero information on that. So as we move forward in the pictures, you can see a couple of different versions of it, taking different maneuvers, and you can see that it's only in these 2. And it was unfortunate that we didn't get to see it in action, because that would have been really great, but I think this ship should get some kind of 3D modeling, or I'm going to try and get some 3D modeling for it so we can actually see what it would look like. And yeah, I think that the reason that they were scared of it was probably because it was hypothetically just a more advanced form of the Andromeda Ascendant, the Glorious Heritage class cruiser, and maybe it does have either just more advanced weapons, or it has a combination of both advanced weapons and starfighters, which would make it more of a match than for the Andromeda. and also it would make it unlike the Siege Perilous class because that one didn't have any fighter capacity and was much smaller and didn't have any defensive capacity either, which is odd since it seems not to have the same defensive capacity as the Andromeda, but only the aesthetically, blading things, which I didn't see actually do that much except during Magog attacks, I guess. But basically this ship scared the crap out of the Andromeda crew and Dylan, so it made basically an impact on them. But unfortunately we never got to see it, but hopefully we do at some point. Anyways, hope you got some information on this. Thanks again. Have a good day.